Breaking news, a shooting situation at the Capitol Visitor Center. The shooter has been detained and no one was hurt. The entire city was on lockdown. There's maybe a partial lockdown right now, but a lot of questions, and we do have breaking news for you right now. We are hearing reports that the shooter in custody right now was known to authorities. In fact, the same person was arrested for an outburst in a House chamber just last year. We are working on more details, of course, but that is major breaking news. On the phone, I have former police detective Rod Wheeler with us. Rod, I guess it's maybe not unusual for this to be the case, but it's interesting that when these things go down, whether it's terrorism around the world, more recently in Brussels, these are people who have track records, who have arrest records, who are known to authorities. And it makes a lot of people wonder if we're handling those kind of threats the right way.
Well, you're exactly right. Good afternoon to you, Charles. That's always going to be a concern for law enforcement. And I can tell you, and I'm actually down here on Capitol Hill right now, that the D.C. Police Department is going to take over the lead in this investigation. As a matter of fact, Chief Kathy Lanier just pulled up, and they're going to be having a presser in a few minutes. But let me just say this particular guy, from what my sources are telling me, he was known to some of the law enforcement authorities here. And what the police is doing now, the reason they have not released his name, Charles, is because they're getting a search warrant to search this guy's premises and to see if he has a vehicle parked anywhere in the area. Now, right here on Capitol Hill, there's a number of uniformed police officers. There's a number of detectives, and I also see the bomb squad still checking areas here on Capitol Hill. Although I must say most of the roadways around the Capitol building itself has been reopened, so that's a good sign. But this investigation, Charles, is still very fluid.
All right, Rod, I do want to say a name is floating out there. We're going to be restrained here and not release it just yet. But this person was arrested last year for unlawful conduct and assault on a police officer after an outburst at the U.S. House chambers. A few congressmen were speaking at the time. He was heard to shout that he is a, quote, prophet of God. He was escorted away at that time by police. And it led to a more violent incident, I think, later on that he was actually charged for. So we'll wait for more details, but the name is beginning to float out there. So where do we go from here, Rod? Everyone's on heightened alert. Everyone's on pins and needles, and yet we all want to live normal lives, or as normal as possible.
Right. Well, I can tell you, since the horrific events in Brussels, the Capitol Hill area has been on high alert anyway. I mean, I saw that the other day when that event took place, that there's an increase of uniformed officers here. There's a number of bomb-sniffing dogs being used now. You know, we just have to continue to try to do a great job in terms of protecting the area and protecting people. Now, one other thing, Charles, that I think is very significant, I heard some people say earlier that Capitol Hill right now should not have a lot of people because Congress is not in session, but actually it's quite the opposite. There's a ton of folks down here. I'm here right now. And as you know, and as the viewers know, the cherry blossoms in this city is a major, major attraction throughout the year, right now at this time of the year. So there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of children here, a lot of families, and a lot of police as well to try to keep things safe. This guy today, though, just so that you know, my sources tell me is when he went through the layered, he actually got past the outside layers of security. Now, we don't check for weapons on the outside. But once the guy gets to the inside area of that visitor center, that's when you got to go through the metal detectors. He pulled the weapon out. An officer, being very alert, was able to take this guy down before this guy was able to cause damage to others. So we're still getting more information, but it sounds to me like the officer reacted instantaneously to stop the threat, Charles.
Just a wonderful job. We cannot thank the police enough. Rod Wheeler, thank you very much, and we'll come back to you, but I want to just sort of